What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to share with you my story on how I went from essentially broke to over 250K worth of funding or access to capital, essentially. Um, I think at the time I had like 500, 600 credit, not anything super great. Actually, it was actually really bad. I had collections and everything. And I guess my intention for this video is I want to share with you guys, we're going to go on a walk here. I want to share with you guys my story, my transformation, the obstacles and the challenges that I had, um, obviously getting to the end result, and then essentially how you can replicate and do it the same. Because if you're anything like me, you probably very challenged with being in that type of situation. Just trying to walk and avoid people at the same time, so I could share with you this story. Um, yeah. So essentially, this was probably about a year ago. I had some collections in my report due to an incident where I fell 60-ish feet. Obviously was like wiped out, went to a coma for weeks. Was I think had 13 surgeries and handicapped, put in a wheelchair, all that stuff. Um, couldn't move. Took a while to rehab to learn how to walk again. And let's see here, hold it in a more comfortable way. Is that gonna work? All right, first time. Can't you tell? But yes, so essentially, obviously, the obstacles and the challenges that I had were I had to obviously fix my credit, right? Probably gonna go do this inside because I don't have to like keep dodging people. But this is actually a pretty decent spot. Wish I had like a tripod or something. Anyways, I'm talking out loud. Candid, right? Candid, one take. One take. I'll probably end up cutting it a little bit just to save some time for you. But yeah, essentially, I found out I got connected with a mentor. I learned that if you there's ways to fix your credit essentially. There's ways to um, go from bad credit to good credit, and then to use that good credit to be able to get funded um, hundreds of thousands of dollars from the bank without actually needing any income. So it's a new concept to me because at the time I just got out of a solar sales gig, got burned by a company. They owed me a lot of money, and I was just kind of like stuck waiting on the check that they never end up sending, and I was just kind of like in the limbo mode. But I knew at that time that I wanted to find a way to make my own business, right? To be able to create a system, a lifestyle where I could generate a lot of money without needing to have to work for it, essentially. That next year, after I left the solar company, I was researching ways on how I could generate wealth. I knew I wanted to do it online. I knew I didn't want to be stuck to a location because I love traveling. I love my freedom. I knew I wanted to do it online. I knew I wanted to be able to be free. I knew I didn't want to have to be stuck working a job that I didn't want to work, be stuck working hours. Because even at like solar, I was working every day. Like wake up at 8 a.m., get ready for work, go to the office, knock doors all day, get back at like 9, barely have time to eat. You have to go to bed before, you know, unless you don't like, otherwise you don't get enough sleep, and then you have a bad day the next day. So it's just like you have to commit basically your whole life to it, learning and growing. And I knew there's a better way. So essentially, I spent the next year researching ways how to make money online. I was already doing it before. I was already doing it before. And, things that most people will come across are things like Airbnb arbitrage. That was one of the first things. Ecom, definitely a thing. Trading is a thing. Uh, Buying and selling businesses, real estate, things of that nature. Obviously, there's so many different opportunities out there. The best one that seemed appealing to me at the time was Airbnb arbitrage because you're able to arbitrage the efforts of other people, workers, cleaners, things like that, able to create value by creating a property experience, giving people a place to stay, and creating experience around that, right? Furnishing it, doing all that stuff, and being able to be essentially the middleman of stays, right? You don't have to own the property. You're able to lease it out as a rental, and as that rental, you then put it up for sale. Anyways, this is an Airbnb course. The point is, is that I knew there's other ways. I knew with all these other ways, typically, the one common theme was if you wanted to succeed, you needed money. You needed money to be able to invest into all these different avenues, right? Especially like real estate, any wealth building avenue, you needed money to do it, right? Whether it's to hire people, to pay for mentorship, to pay for tools, to pay for experience, to whatever it was, right? You needed money. So how can one make money as fast as they can? That's the question I ask. And this is a very long-winded video. I'll probably try to make a faster-paced one in the future. But I'm just like walking around, and I just like said, hey, screw it. I'm just gonna make an on-the-fly video. Doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to be amazing. But I'm out here in nature, the best place to be by the ocean, Monterey. And yeah, just figured something is better than nothing, right? And for those of you that this resonates with, amazing. If you guys have been able to stay the course and go on a long walk with me and learn something along the way, amazing. Because my intention is to be able to share value, share my story, share my experiences, to be able to help you elevate, grow, transform in the way that you desire, that helps you create the life and experience the life of your dreams. So, all right, where are we now? So, making money. Okay, let's focus back on credit. Anyways, so in this credit journey, I wonder what it's like down there on that rock. Yeah, I was thinking about going down there, but I don't want to trip. I'm already having a challenging time it is trying to walk around, dodge people, talk to you guys, and film these camera angles at the same time. But credit. So anyways, I came across a mentor, right, who was all about education, right? He shared so much wealth of knowledge, things that I never knew existed. And I thought it was great. And he showed me ways that you could fix your credit, essentially. And I bought in, end up paying 10 G's to be a part of his program to learn how to get funding. Well, actually, I didn't learn how to get funding from him. Basically, learn how to fix my credit so then I could be in a position where I could get funding, right? Whole nother journey. But essentially, I want to be able to share with you guys what I learned from that program so you guys don't have to pay $10,000 to fix your credit, to be able to get funding, to fuel your dreams. Because most likely, if you have bad credit, most likely you don't have 10 G's to invest. And I want to be able to help those that need it. So, because I definitely needed it, right? My family's helped me. I want to be able to help you because us helping each other is honestly like the kindness that the world needs, and sometimes the catalyst and the change that's necessary to be able to help us get to the next level, right? Like, obviously there's some of us that might think that us receiving a helping hand might disable us, but I believe that as long as you have the right mentality and the right intentions, you can help yourself and receive a helping hand at the same time and help others along the way. So that's my purpose here. And this is also a long form video as well too, so you can start to get to know me better and we build a relationship moving forward, because this is going to be a long haul and a marathon. So already 12 minutes in. I'll get better at this. I will. I like making it more condensed. But actually, that's how I learned from my mentor as well too. He would make 4-hour webinars, like just very long webinars, live, daily, like not daily, like once or twice per week. I'd attend those every single day until I got in. And yeah, because there's a lot to learn from stories. It is a long-winded approach, but it is great. And like his program too, my program's not gonna be the same in terms of this length, but his whole program is literally just 1 hour videos or longer, 1 to 4 hour videos of him sharing what it was, probably previous webinars, previous group calls, and stuff like that. Just sharing knowledge, just sharing stories. And I had to invest hundreds and hundreds of hours to go through all that content to learn. But my intention is over time to be able to condense this. It's already going to be mega condensed, but even more condensed than this, right? Eventually, I'm going to work my way into shorts, stuff like that, organize it, shorter form videos, and it'll evolve with your help. As long as we stay connected, start a conversation, you guys comment, what it is, message me, whatever platform, things that you're looking for, what you like, what you didn't like, things that you want to know more about, things that I can improve, like definitely open to as well too. Let's go and walk back to the car, because that'll probably be where I can share the most comfortably and be in free flow, free from interruptions. But what a beautiful view, right? What a beautiful view. Maybe I could do like a video of me walking around with this, and then I'll talk, and then overlay both at the same time. On a tangent, using new white shoes in the sand. I gotta get myself some hiking shoes, but honestly, the only shoes that I can wear are white. And I don't like black shoes. Blue shoes maybe, but like, I guess I just have to commit to maybe having a dirty pair of shoes and a clean pair. So this one might be like my clean pair, or my dirty pair, and then I'll get the same exact shoes, but they'll be my clean version. There's my beautiful car. I love her. She's sexy. Also, funny story is I have a DSLR in my back, or not DSLR, but a full frame Canon camera, and using the iPhone because it's just so much more convenient. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I just want to film. I do want this whole channel, this offering, to be about natural. Like, I really just want it to be like us hanging out, like we're homies, like we're just having a good time, and that's what it's about. I want you to feel like I'm just your friend that is here just to genuinely help you, right? Because we all love that friend that is there for us and that loves to help. So just got a little bit of lighting in here. Hopefully that helps some. Off, on, better, a little bit. But yeah, so where are we? It's story time. This should definitely be long-winded, and I guess another part of my story, this is all about story, right? Is that I also grew up relatively introverted, didn't have much friends growing up. I mean, I did, but I was definitely like, I had some friends, right? But we were all like the nerds or like the outcasts per se. So I definitely wasn't the popular kid by any means. So I know what it's like to be lonely. I know what it's like to not feel like anybody understands you, or to not feel like you have friends or have people there for you. So I want to be able to be that person that's there for you, because the person that honestly, like, I needed someone in those moments, and I want to be that person for you. Because you might be in a situation where you might feel like there is no way out, right? That, like, you probably hate life, because I know I did. Because it's a system where it's just like, dude, do I really have to go to work? Do I really have to work a job I don't like? That drains me of my soul energy. That makes me feel more tired. That makes me more stressed out. Makes me deal with all these things I don't want to deal with. Like, and I know I am meant for more. I know you were meant for more, right? And this isn't a knock on jobs, right? If you love your job, like, I'm happy for you. A lot of people don't, so you're really lucky and you're really blessed to be in that type of position. So this is for people, or at least this part of the message is directed towards people that might be in a situation where it's like they're not happy with it, they're sick of it, and they're looking for a different way. They just don't know of another way, and they're trying to find a way. I want to be able to help you experience a similar transformation that I experienced, from not really knowing what to do, not really wanting to go to work in a traditional sense, knowing that I'm meant for more, knowing that I want to become rich and wealthy. That's a key point, because a lot of people that are working jobs, like, they aren't rich and they aren't wealthy. My mentor once told me that, and don't get me wrong, like, you can make a good living working a job, but my mentor once told me that there's no such thing as a rich employee, right? I was going to school to be an engineer at the time, because it was the highest paying job coming out of college after a 4-year degree, 6 figures, 4 years. And I thought that's what life was about, right? You make money, you go to a job, you work, you have some free time, and you do that for the next 40 years of your life, and you live a good life, right? That's what my parents taught me. That's probably what your parents taught you. That's just how the system's designed. It's designed to teach us to go to college, to pay for college, to get a job, to get a house, to get a car, to pay for these notes, and to be in this constant cycle of debt, barely making enough to get by, spending most of our time working a job to feed the system, while our passions, who we are, self-discovery, self-mastery, like, kind of slips away, right? Because a lot of us, like, especially if you're around my age, right? I was born in 1995, so I'm like 30 now, in 2025. And probably the younger generation too, you probably realize that, like there's more to life than just working a job and dying, right? And maybe being able to travel, like, once per year or less, right? People have to spend, like, decades to sometimes travel, if at all, right? And they say the world's a book. Those who don't travel only read one page. So yeah, this is gonna be the start of a great journey, and I know this is very long-winded, and I'll probably, like, see if I can get AI to cut it up to be able to create timestamps with the transcript and all that stuff. Eventually, over time, I'll release the video first and then edit it over time in the description, to be able to help you just jump forward, to skip the backstory if you just want to go straight to the sauce, right? Because I know I'm that type of person too. I'm like, dude, don't waste my time. I don't need any of this. Like, there's a time and place for everything. But for those of you that want to connect with me on a human level, like, this is what this is for, right? We're getting to know each other. We're getting to connect more on deeper levels, and yeah, just be human, right? Be friends. So, where are we? Water. Hydration. Hydration is important. Did you know, I just found out this the other day, if your body's just slightly dehydrated by, like, a small percent, like 1 to 3%, you experience, like, a 20+% inefficiency in mental processing. Like, you lose 20% of your mental capacity if you're just, like, 1 to 3% dehydrated. Crazy, right? This is your reminder to stay hydrated. All right, so let's get to the sauce. I think this will be easier too, that if you have questions, we could, like, go back and forth. I think when we build a big enough community, right, and there's enough people that are interacting consistently, I'll turn these into lives, right, and we'll go back and forth, and then we'll feed stuff along the ways. I'll also probably get more organized too. I'll start to have, like, agendas in terms of, like, itineraries of things that I want to discuss on the call. I'll probably have that in front of me so I can see. This was just kind of very whimsical, like, dude, I just need to move, or I need to create some type of content. It doesn't matter the structure so much. Besides, the structure for this video specifically is obstacle, transformation, found destination, right? So let's talk about the obstacles.
Sorry, there was a problem.
And obviously we'll get more organized, right? I'll use AI to help me, so it won't be as random as this, but welcome to the first video. No expectations.
Um, let's see. So obstacles. I had challenging credit, had collections, right? I found out that with collections, you can get those removed. Why? Because, and obviously, like, life happens, right? I just want to humanize with you, right? Life happens. I don't want you to be set back for 7+ years and not know how to rebuild. I want you to be able to get ahead, fix everything this year, and start building, right? I want to collapse your time frame. I want to save you a decade of your life, or at least close to it. So the thing about collections is that in terms of credit health and lendability, your credit score is based off of what's reported on the credit bureaus, right? And if collections is reported on there, it's really bad for you. Obviously, that's probably why your score went way down, if anything. But the point is that those things can get removed. Why? Because there's so many different reasons. Inaccuracies, all that stuff. But the key thing to recognize here is that there are legal ways to protect yourself from this orchestration, right? Because here's the thing. In reality, if you had a collections, let's say you were lending from bank 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to put out names because I don't want any challenges or whatever it is, but let's say you were lending, you had a credit card with bank 1, 2, or 3, or a loan from bank 1, 2, or 3, or a car from bank 1, 2, or 3, right? The thing is, if your account goes to collections, that is literally the best case scenario for you being able to repair your credit, to enhance your credit, right? I can't say credit repair because I'm not a credit repair person, but to enhance your credit, to optimize your credit, right? Why? Why is that the best case scenario? Because we have to understand the system. If you have an agreement with lending institution 123, bank 123, right? Your agreement written in contract is between you and them, nobody else. When it gets pushed to collections, that means it went to a third party that you did not agree or consent to have an agreement with. What happens is your lending institution that gave you the credit card, loan, whatever lending based product, they then got into an agreement with this third party, and they basically said, hey, I'm going to sell this debt that this person owes to me to you. You can buy my debt that's owed to me for pennies on the dollars, and you can go collect on my behalf, or you can go collect, right? And then you can get paid for the difference that you make. So let's say you, like, pennies on the dollar. That's why, like, collection companies, if you have a collections letter in the mail, they'll send you a letter saying that, and I just want to say, like, how thankful I am to be on these long form videos, because I was trying to film short form videos to be reels on Instagram, and I had to cram everything in 90 seconds, and that was so challenging, and I felt like I lost so much substance. So I'm super thankful to be here with you guys, here having like a real human interaction, connection, to be able to share like the depth of knowledge, and to go into detail, because detail is really important, so you can understand, so then you can empower yourself and create the life of your dreams, and to put yourself in the best position to be able to manifest things in alignment with a more effortless and graceful, beautiful, intended, perfected reality on your own terms, right? So yeah, that's a mouthful. Where are we now? This is why the organized agenda will be so great, because I could just boom, fire things off. But one thing at a time. This is just the beginning, right? And it's gonna get better. So daily improvements. Hydration break. And a mini stretch break as well. Oh my gosh. For those of us gamers out there, dude, get outside, stretch the body, move the body, because, this thing was not meant to be as stagnant as possible. Just another tip, if you live a sedentary lifestyle, first things first is find a way to move. Find a way to get 10,000 steps per day. It will change your life. It will change your life. I'm telling you. If you can find a way to break it up like I did, it did take a while. But what I found from being someone who got less than 1,000 steps per day, right? I'd like literally like I was just a vegetable. I'd get out of bed, stay in bed, bed rot, go to my desk, play games all day or work on the computer all day, and go to bed, right? Just so minimal walking. And I would not like going to the grocery store. I'd order all my stuff, and yeah. So, anyways, what you can do is, what helped me is, one, find a place nearby that when you walk around that place, you feel good, you feel inspired. This is very, very important, because this is going to translate your walk, which would be perceived as work, into play and pleasure. You want to make it as enjoyable and as blissful and as beautiful as possible, so you keep going back naturally. If you put it in a scenario where you always feel like you're going to work, you might not like that, and it might not stick with you, because it didn't stick with me, right? And sometimes, like, it might not be in your neighborhood, right? You might have to force yourself to go outside, and then you have to deal with the anxiety of all the people looking at you and all that stuff, your neighbors, and you don't want to deal with that, and it's uncomfortable. Find a place like a park nearby that's isolated, or nature, if you're, by nature, or if you're in the city, like finding a place in the city, like a mall that's very, very inspiring, that's beautiful, that like gets you feeling good, right? Wherever it is, find a spot for you that lifts up your energy. Find a way to dedicate time to be able to go there consistently every single day, or just walk outside. The point is get it done, right? And what I found to do best is not doing one 10,000 step marathon, but to do one walk with something stimulating me, right? Whether it's in audio, put in the AirPods, earbuds, headphones, whatever it is, put on inspirational audio or just music, whatever you're feeling in the moment, just something that makes you feel good. Charge yourself. You're feeding your body, and do everything in your power to make it as pleasant and as pleasurable as possible. And you only need to do, split it up. You only have to do 2,000 to 3,000 steps a walk, right? If you do 2,000 to 3,000 steps, you can get it done within 3 or so walks, right? I typically, when I wake up in the morning, I'll do 3,000 steps, right? Walk around a park, walk wherever, find somewhere to make it happen to go on a walk, right? It's very, very important. If you can get it done, you'll feel so much better for the day. I swear. Literally, just try it out. Try out going for a walk for a week, right? Might not even take that long. 3 to 5 days of waking up, going on 3,000 step walk every single day for 3 to 5 days, if not a full week. And then stop going on a walk for 1 day in the morning, and watch how drastically different your energy, your mood, and your mindset is, right? And you're just everything. It will change your life so much. Start your day with a 3,000 step walk, and then maybe do one midday, or at night, right? If you can't do one midday, sometimes you can just double up at night, whatever it is, right? But get moving, and always try to walk also after you eat. It'll help you digest your food, and it'll help you feel better. It's very, 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 very important. You'll feel a lot better. Energy optimization. Anyways, that was just a random, very useful tip for you out there. Get the body moving. The body's a temple. It's a temple for the mind. If you have a strong body, you'll have a strong mind. If you get the energy moving in here, you'll get your mind moving, right? Mindset is everything. Mindset is power. The thing in here is the difference between you being broke and you being wealthy, you being happy and you being sad, and you achieving all of the dreams of your desires, living your dream life, versus you living a shell of a life. It's all gonna be up here, right? So we got to do everything in our power to make it as easy as possible to succeed up here. And a lot of that is going to have to do with what's going on here, right? It's an energetic system. I want you to take into account that philosophy. We are literally, if you look at our nervous system, it's literally just a huge wire of electrical systems, right? We are literally energetic beings. And that electrical system sends signals all throughout our body to pump blood, to work our muscles, to operate our organs, to do everything, right? we are literally these energetic beings. It's like, if you look up a picture of it, it's actually like crazy to look at like what that looks like in a 3D form. It's really bizarre. It's very bizarre. But welcome to life on Earth. We are bioelectric magnetic beings. Souls, stuff like that. Well, that'll be a whole nother conversation for another time. This video's already even way too long. I think we're like 40 minutes in now, close to it. I split it up, so it's 18 right now. But let's see. Let's get to the sauce. Let's get to the transformation. Okay. Obstacles, transformation, end result. Obstacles. Okay, so we were talking about collections. Collections. You don't have the agreement with the collections company. What happens is your bank or lending institution will sell that debt, right? They will sell it to somebody else for pennies on the dollar. And not to go in the whole like moral ethical thing, but just so you know, like, look up fractional reserve banking and you'll realize how money isn't even real, right? Like, when banks are lending us credit, they literally just printed the credit out of thin air. It's not real. It's like they type stuff into a computer, the computer generates it, and that credit is created. When they give you credit, they're not actually giving you cash, they're giving you credit, the ability to lend from them. And it's just like they're literally able to manifest money out of thin air on top of the money that's already printed out of thin air from the Federal Reserve. It's a whole nother conversation. So yeah, the point is off of that fake money, the credit, they sell that debt, that IOU, to somebody else for pennies on the dollar, and they write it off on their balance sheet, profit loss, and they're like, okay, taxable event, tax deduction, whatever it is, life moves on, right? They make more money, whatever it is, right? And here's the thing though, they've made money on that exchange with your debt. They sold your debt to them, right? Between you and lending institution one. These third-party collection companies over here that will tell you that they're coming at you to pay off your debt that you owed with this banking institution, lending institution, like, they'll position themselves in that way to give themselves credibility. But the thing is that you don't owe them anything. You don't have any agreement with them, and there's so many actual legal protections in place that protect you from having to deal with them at all, right? If you tell them to stop contacting you, they have to legally stop contacting you. If you tell them to stop contacting you and they continue to contact you, that is a finable offense, $1,000 per violation. I've heard stories of people that will say it once, and then they'll keep getting called back for whatever, like, the automated system, whatever it is, doesn't refresh, or the message didn't get through, but there's documentation proving that they told them to stop. Maybe they sent a letter and whatever it is, and then they kept receiving calls, and they will milk it. Like, they'll receive a call and be like, hey, and then they'll be like, hey, this is a collection company, da, da, da. They're like, oh, hold on, and then they'll hang up. Then they'll get called back in and be like, and they'll be talking, and then they'll just hang up again, right? And then they'll just keep the string on going, and all of those calls are finable offenses, $1,000 that are payable to that individual. I've heard of stories of people actually going to court and actually winning and getting like 10,000 plus bucks for that. Not saying that you should do that. I just am sharing that I've heard that story, as funny or as crazy as that is. But anyways, yeah, it's just funny. I have not done it myself. If you have done that, please share your story. We'd love to learn. But yeah, it's definitely a very edgy thing. But anyways, yeah, I try to keep things as like clean as possible, less of a headache. But I guess, like, in their defense, that is clean because that's like the law. But anyways, I try not to bend the rules too much in that sense. Anyways, where are we? Okay, yeah, so pennies on the dollar, they try to collect on you, and they say, hey, you pay half the amount, or what can you pay? Can you pay 25%? Whatever it is, like, everything that's beyond pennies, they're making money on, right? But you don't owe anything to them. And the thing is that, like, again, your debt was originally to, like, that lending institution. The moment it changes hands, it's done. It's not your debt anymore. And the thing is that like if you have a moral obligation to pay back the company, right? Like let's say you were lending from bank 1 or A, and you said like, hey, I'm sorry, like life happened, I know I owe you money, I want to be able to pay you back. If they sold your debt, they legally cannot receive your money. Even if you're willing to pay them 10 times the amount that you owed them. I know, because I've looked into it. I've like wanted to pay back my dues. But here's the thing, is you cannot do it. They legally cannot accept your money because they sold it already to somebody else. They sold that debt to somebody else. So they have no right, they have no legal right or ability to collect on it because it's called double dipping. They cannot collect twice. They can't, like, anyways. So that's another thing too, is so now that your debt is essentially, like, I say your debt's relieved because the collection company, again, you don't owe them anything. They'll try to collect, but they're collecting on a back end deal, and there's legal protections in place. Just so you know, okay, long story short is you can wipe off your collections. It will, if it's reported on your credit report, there are so many ways to dispute it to get that removed. Just know that tons and tons of people are doing it. You can do it too. There are ways. And I will teach that. I'll have to teach it on a non-public platform. It'll probably be in like my community. I'll probably make like a free community and a paid community. I'll have it in one of the communities to share, because I know that like I've seen firsthand many times where if information gets shared publicly, it becomes ineffective. I've seen it time and time again. And my mentor personally has told me many times is that the information is meant to be sold and not told. And I haven't decided if this is going to be something that you have to pay for or not. I'm going to do my best to give you everything that you need for free to be able to equip yourself. And then anything paid is just like additional help for me if you need like my actual time, like active time or whatever it is. Or we'll figure something out. But the point is that right now this video is about free value. So I just want to be able to help you actually experience the transformation yourself. But yeah, there's ways to clean it and clear it. Yes. So anyways, yeah, I'll definitely share it in a free way. I'll probably go more into detail in a paid version, but the free should be enough for you to be able to do it yourself, essentially. Yeah. So okay. So the transformation is that you can clean all these things off your credit report, right? Any types of inaccuracies, right? Like, let's speak to those that like have genuine inaccuracies, right? Like, let's say somebody like ran up your credit report, did a bunch of inquiries, shopped around inquiries, maybe signed up for. What happens a lot is some people will sign up for a credit product. They'll say no pre-qualification, or they'll say no credit pull, right? And then they'll end up selling your data that they put in the hidden text, right, under all these terms and agreements that are nobody reads, but somewhere in there they'll be like, oh yeah, we have the ability to sell your information to other people and they can use it as they want. They'll sell the information, maybe they'll sell it again, whatever it is, but the sold information will go into someone's hands that will do bad things with it, like run up your credit, hurting your credit, putting up inquiries, maybe maybe your data got sold on the dark web, and now someone has access to your stuff and they're trying to steal your information, right? And they're trying to open up new cards. Maybe like I've heard of somebody that I used to work with, her ex-boyfriend ended up stealing her credit information and like got a bunch of stuff and charged up this stuff under her name, and applied for cards, all that stuff. It's just like, it's crazy stuff happens. But for those of us that have had situations where there's inaccurate things that have happened that are not because of us, there's these things called FTC reports and identity theft reports, right? If by law, if your identity is stolen and it doesn't even need, so under the law it says like alleged identity theft. If you have alleged identity theft, which is just saying, basically you saying that like, hey, like I believe that I may have been a victim of identity theft, right? Anything related to that can be removed, and often very quickly if you know how to do the right steps, right? What you have to do is you have to file an FTC report, Federal Trade Commission, basically showing that, hey, this like identity theft happened, right? And you save that. You then have to send like a copy of your name, your address. You might have to do. I don't think you don't have to do photo ID. Yes, driver's license, photo ID, and then proof of address, right? And then so photo ID, proof of address, a written statement of what happened, and then an FTC report. And you send that to the credit bureaus in a package, also attaching a copy of your credit report with the like this is so much free game. This is in like this information right here is behind $10,000 and $20,000 and $30,000 paywalls in the credit space. Just so you know, like people charge crazy money to get this stuff cleaned because things happen, and even more in the corporate world. Like, so just know that you're literally on a gold mine right now. You might not know, but now you know it's a gold mine. So, value it for what it's worth. So, the point is that, yeah, you can get basically anything on your credit report removed due to alleged identity theft. And yeah, you have to do a notarized affidavit. It makes it stronger. And if you need help in detail with that, I can definitely help you with that in detail. But essentially, that's the information. That's like you send that in, and you structure it right. You can get all that stuff removed. Because there are protection laws, consumer protection laws in place to protect you, because like bad people do bad stuff, dark web stuff happens all the time, data leaks happen all the time, right? You have to learn how to protect yourself. So in the events that you have had someone take advantage of you, or you had some type of mishap and there's alleged identity theft, anything related to the identity theft can be removed, and it has to be removed within 4 business days. FCRA 605B, look it up. Know your rights. So, amazing things, amazing stuff. You can get it done quick. Sometimes they'll push back. Specifically, TransUnion, they're just a pain. They're just like, but know your rights, and more often than not, you'll be able to get it done. With like crazy high success rates. Like, yeah. Anyways, 99.99999% of you like walk in the park once you do it right. But anyway, so just so you know, okay, there's the sauce, right? You can clean up any inaccuracies that have happened to your credit report, if you have been subject to such. And so now that you've learned how to clean your credit, you can then start building your profile. You want to clean your profile and make it optimally, like clean as in no negatives. Remove all negative stuff from your reports, right? Once you remove all that stuff, I can go more into detail later, but I'll create like a structured community with all this stuff too. If there's like demand for this, and that's what that's what the intention is. I'm creating these videos to connect with other people and to also find where the demand's at. And if there is, then we can create more information about it to be able to help out people. Let's see. So like, comment, subscribe, share as much as you can, because the more that we can get the algorithm to push this out, the more that we can get this in front of other people, the more people that we can help, and the more feedback that we can get, and the more people that are showing up interest from expanded exposure through the algorithms, the more that I'll be incentivized to be able to help you guys, because I'll be knowing that I'm making a difference, and I'll be knowing that there's actually people that are searching for and that are interested and that I'm able to connect with. So please help me, help you, help us with the algorithms, and that'll be amazing. So, okay, so those are the obstacles. The transformation is on the other side of when you're able to get into the realm of having good credit, all these opportunities will open up for you. All these opportunities. You'll be able to have access to greater credit lines. You'll be able to access, when you hit 750 plus credit, it's the difference between you not being able to afford a car versus you being able to walk off with virtually almost any reasonable car off the lot with $0 down. Like literally you pay $0 versus everyone else having to pay tens of thousands of dollars or whatever it is, wherever your tier's at. And we'll get more into like different credit tiers and stuff like that, or credit profile strengths. But yeah, for free. Like literally like $0. Like obviously you have to make your monthly payments, but like it's a huge difference. It's a huge difference. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah. So I'm gonna try to conclude pretty soon here because I know we're probably getting close to an hour, if not an hour. Let's see. Transformation, obstacles, transformation. The transformation is obviously like, you know, not a surprise. Over 250K worth of credit funding, credit cards, credit limits from credit cards, lines of credit, and loans. I was able to experience all this. I was able to clean my credit, build my credit, and get over $250,000 worth of funding in less than a year. I think it took me like about 9 months, roughly, give or take. And it was a long process because I had to figure it out, right? I obviously invested into a program, invested into mentorship. The mentorship was crazy because like you pay for access to the guy, and then when you're in the program, you actually don't even get access to the guy. You get access to his assistant. His assistant doesn't really know what's going on and shares information that's actually contradicting to what the guy's actually teaching. And but on the bright side, you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of content of him talking, and there's your access there, which is kind of like a bait and switch scam feel. But honestly, like at the time he created so much value that like I was just learning, right? Even if it was not in the way that it was initially presented. And yeah, I just made the most of it, right? Obviously, like if I ever create a program like that, like I want to be able to create direct access to me, or at least be very, very, very clear and transparent if I ever get to the point where I'm not able to work on the business, that I let people know up front beforehand. I don't sell them direct access to me and then don't give them direct access to me. Yeah, it's crazy for me to think. But yeah, so obstacles, transformation. So I haven't gotten a lot of sleep lately, as you can probably tell with the bags under my eyes. So I'm doing the best that I can. Next videos will get better. I'll work on it and I'll get better sleep. Yeah, just focus on family and focus on showing up for my brother. He had a football game and I just wanted to make sure that I was there for him. So I drove 13-ish hours out to go see him. And then once I got there the very next day, drove about 13-14 hours to bring him and my mother out to Yosemite and back and all around, and then drove 3 hours plus out here to Monterey, California. And so just a lot of driving, not a lot of sleep. And yeah, I got there at 4 a.m. the first night, and then the second night I went to bed at midnight, woke up at 2:30 to go on the drive to Yosemite. So it's just like not a lot of sleep. And then I obviously had his game the night after night one, so couldn't sleep much that day either. So where are we? Brain's becoming a vegetable right now. Super long-winded video. Just know that you can fix your credit. You can clean your credit. You can go from credit that's been damaged to cleaning it, to building it, to optimizing it, to getting funding from all these banks, building relationships, learning how the system works. All of that can happen so quick. It took me 9 months. I personally believe that you can get it done way faster, especially if like I'm able to teach you like directly, like, hey, like this is XYZ, do this, boom. Like it'll be so much better, right? Yeah, I don't want to be able to create an offering of 400 plus hours of unorganized content for you to try to sift and sort through it, and even like transcribing it and then using AI and then watching it twice. Like to be able to try to get all the information out of it. I want to be able to just be like, hey, like, this is everything that you need, organized, structured, and you just go boom, 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 checklist, boom, right? I think that'd be very, very valuable, and it'll be very, very helpful if you were in a situation like me and you want to clean your credit, or if you just want to get funding. But for anyone that wants to leverage credit to be able to get funding, I want to be able to create an A to Z guide on how to do so. So you personally can get hundreds of thousands of dollars from the bank, so then you can fuel your dreams and create that business that you love, create that business that you've been dreaming of, to be able to leverage credit in an empowering way, to be able to put yourself in a better position, be able to, maybe you want to get a house, maybe you want to get a car, maybe you want to, whatever it is that you want to do, leveraging credit, like, and funding, I want you to be able to do that. And there's so much that you can do with it, right? If you learn how to do it the right way, you can get hundreds of thousands of dollars from the banks every 6 months, right? And you can learn how to do it yourself, and you don't have to rely on all these people out there, like these funding communities, where they'll be like, hey, like, we'll fund you, right? And we'll get you money, and we can't guarantee results, but we'll do it for you. We're not going to tell you how we do it. We might tell you a little bit, but that's our secret sauce, right? I want to be able to teach you how to become your own funding specialist and your own credit specialist, so you can not have to rely on or pay anyone else or need anybody else to clean your credit. I want to teach you how to be able to also get your own funding and do it just as good and even better than everyone else that you could potentially pay to do it for you. And I want you to be able to learn how to do it repeatedly, time after time again, so you can keep going back to the banks, getting more funding, so you can fuel your dreams, right? And obviously, like, a disclaimer, like, be responsible, right? There's strategies where you can leverage credit in good ways to be able to have some seed capital to build your future ventures, and also have some to be able to, afford for, living expenses and stuff like that. But you have to build up to that point, and you need good financial discipline, right? You can't, do not be that person that gets hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of credit and then blows it all, and then now has all this debt, and then now has no opportunity. The purpose of getting access to credit is to be able to get access to this new funding, this new capital, these new dollars, to leverage it to be able to make more dollars. You don't want to use it as a consumer. You want to use it as a business person. You want to multiply it, right? Multiply the money, right? Get into things like real estate, right? Like, a lot of people don't get into real estate. Most millionaires are made from real estate. You can use credit to buy real estate. Did you know that? You can use it for your down payment. You can use it for your fix and flip. You can take money that wasn't yours with no income, use it to buy a property, flip it, and make tens of thousands of dollars. And for those that are really excellent at what they do, I've heard of people flipping for $100K plus. Obviously, that's more rare, but, like, you can make tens of thousands of dollars and beyond of doing fix and flips, and you can do it without any of your own money. Crazy concept, right? Credit can give you the opportunity to be able to invest into mentorships, to be able to be around other people that can help you make more money, that can get you to be able to learn that skill, to learn those tools, to learn those things that you wanted to learn, to be able to get you to that next level, right? Wherever it is, right? There's so many offers out there, but credit is the transformational catalyst to be able to help you get to where you need to be, to help you invest, right? Because at the end of the day, it's like, we all want to become financially free, right? This is why you're here. You're probably looking for a better way. The best way that I've found is to leverage credit, build wealth, invest into mentorships, quality mentorships that help you make more money, that have been proven to be able to do that, and to be able to make life on your terms, right? Like, life, we aren't meant to work like 40 hours a week for the next 40 years of our life. Like, life was more than that. And I want you to be able to create a life that you love. I want you to be able to create a life that you wake up every day feeling blessed to be a part of. I want you to be able to be living a life where you're every day pouring into your passions, living with enthusiasm, living in love, and doing the good things in life, making an impact and making a positive difference, and helping people and contributing along the way. So this is a super long-winded video, but this is going to be the end of the first one. and let me know what else you want to learn or know. And yeah, let's make this into a thing. Let's make this into a community to help one another, and a community to help evolve, become financially free, and to master our credit, and to leverage our credit to get more funding, and to leverage that funding to be able to generate financial freedom. So whether it's real estate or anything better, feel free to plug in. Lower risk models, the better. Obviously, real estate is risky, but if you know what you're doing, it can be less risky. I can't promote ecom because that's a very risky field as well too. But yeah, there's so much out there. And I want to be able to help you elevate so you can become financially free. Real estate seems to be the most stable way that I've seen for people to make wealth. And again, it's wealth. It's like, beyond riches, right? Because with real estate, you might do your fix and flips to start getting some cash, but then eventually you want to go into ownership, right? You get into ownership, and then you might have lower cash flow. Like, you might only make like $300 per month profit, right? If that, per property. Like, that doesn't sound like a lot, but over time, once you've built up to that point, right? When you build up cash, then get into that, and then you start getting into long-term investing. After 30 years, you might have been only making $300 per month, if that. After 30 years, your tenants paid off that property. Now you have properties that is worth hundreds of thousands, if not $1 million plus, that paid for itself over 30 years. So we play the time game here, and we're playing long-term wealth, and we're like, the ideal intention here is to be able to help you get to a point where you can be best positioned to be able to invest into vehicles like that, so then you can have passive income fueling all of your life expenses and beyond, so you can live freely, to be free to do the things that you love to do, to be able to live life with the people that you love spending time with, family, friends, all that stuff, and your partner, things of that nature. And then I just got a blessed news software update. I hope it's full self-driving 14. That would be amazing. I don't know if it'll show on here. I'll probably go on my computer. Yeah, anyways. But I'm wishing you the best. Let's create this interactive community. I know this is a long form video. Very long video. Longest video I ever made in my life. But yeah, I just want this to be genuine, organic, and let's get it. Let's go live a life that we all love to live. Peace!